Hey everyone, you might recognize me and Eric here from the Nintendo Prime Podcast. I just want to let you know before you get into this segment that this merchandise you see on our shirts and on our cups and on anything else you ever see with Nintendo Prime branding on it, you can get in the description below. You can also get the full audio podcast, not segmented, in the description below. And if you would like early access to our podcast, please go over to patreon.com/Nintendo Prime. For $5 a month, you gain early access to the full audio podcast. And Mr. Eric, what do you get for $20 a month?
Ooh, you get to join us on a podcast.
That is right. So, if you would like to ever be on the Nintendo Prime Podcast, get your voice in front of thousands of other Nintendo fans out there, you know what to do. Hit up that $20 tier on Patreon. Anyways, folks, on to the episode. Reggie Fils-Aime. Obviously, the Switch has been hard to get this year. It's easier to get now. I was just telling Eric earlier that I was at Walmart and GameStop the other day. Both of them had Switches in stock. Granted, I do not like Walmart's only option. The only Switch they had in stock is the one that is expensive, a.k.a. the Splatoon bundle one. And the Splatoon bundle one only came with different color Joy-Cons and the game. It didn't come with a case or anything, and they're charging $380. So you're paying more for it than just buying a separate Switch and Splatoon. So is it worth $20 extra for custom colors? No. Especially when the colors, like for ARMS and the other ones you can buy on their own, are the same price as the normal gray Joy-Cons. Yeah. So I don't know if that's Nintendo doing it or Walmart price hiking. I don't know.
That might be Walmart.
But
it...
Whatever. There was like 3 of them, and I'm like, well, they're obviously not selling. No one's going to spend $380 on this.
Right.
But
I've seen
and Splatoon.
It's
not Mario.
A couple of Switches here and there at Best Buy before. But...
Well, plus the Mario Odyssey bundle is coming. That's going to be $380, but at least you almost feel like you're getting your value with it because it's $300 for the system, $60 for the game, and it comes with a case for your Switch. So $20 for the case. That feels like a more fair value, and it's Mario. Right. So let's just be real. Mario's like way bigger game than Splatoon 2. It's going to sell. And plus it's coming out during the holidays, so it might be your only way to buy a Switch because the normal price Switches will be gone.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
So Switch has been... at least in our area, and we live in the middle of Wisconsin, in the middle of nowhere, so it's like we're kind of the last place to ever get stock on things.
Yeah, probably.
So it's cool that it's becoming more available, but the comments Reggie had to say, he had an interview. I forget what it was with, but what did he say? They exceeded expectations with their delivery of Switch stock.
No.
It was even worse than that.
Yeah, it was. It was the over. Oh gosh.
Dramatically over-delivered was his wording on Switch stock, but it's still sold out. So, the frame what he was saying, he was talking about at launch, right, where they had 2.8 million or so sell in that launch month, which they literally put them on airplanes to get them over here faster, which means they might have lost money per unit on some of those just because of how they shipped it. Dramatically over-delivered, but still on target to hit our 10 million. That does not match to me. No. Maybe you dramatically over-delivered your launch because you only predicted 2 million and you sold 2.8.
Right.
But it's like...
that part, yes.
But... you didn't catch up the stock until around now. And even now, I don't know if you really caught up. Maybe you just had a good week. Right. Maybe you're just preloading up for Mario Odyssey next month.
Or your small towns like us are getting stuff. You know?
No. I think what it is they did this before Mario plus Rabbids Kingdom Battle came out as well. I think they're loading up extra stock now in preparation for Odyssey coming out next month. So they have a whole bunch of stock on shelves. So everyone who buys Odyssey and wants to buy a Switch can get a hand on it pretty easily that first week. So that's what I think's happening.
Right.
Because they've done this before. So they're catching up or whatever. Even if that's not the case, and they are catching up to demand finally, which is good. I mean, good. We're heading into the holidays. You need to be caught up.
Oh, for sure.
The fact that he's like dramatically over-delivered, and yet we're only on target to hit 10 million. I'm sorry. DS at its peak was selling 25 million. We at its peak was selling 20 million a year. PS4 was selling 20 million. I'm sorry. If you're telling me you dramatically over-deliver, but you're only on target to hit 10 million, how are you over-delivering if you're only on target to hit your target?
Yeah, I guess it really comes down to the time period he's talking about, the exact time period.
The launch month.
Okay, well, that launch month, okay, if that's the case... Again,
well, I'm sorry, 2.8 million. I mean, even if you did not think the Switch was going to sell out, Every single system, period, that comes out, including the Xbox One X, sells out in its first month.
Right.
The Wii U was sold out in its first month. It sold almost 3 million units in the first month. And I'm sorry, you could sell 3 million Wii U, but only 2.8 million Switches, and you dramatically over-delivered in launch month?
Yeah.
Well,
it really depends on, again.
It's just phrasing. The thing is, you can never, here's the thing. The word over-delivered is what bothers me. Dramatically, and him emphasizing, like, that's just dumb. Oh, you can't say you over-delivered on a product that never met demand.
Right. Exactly.
There's no such thing as over-delivering on something that doesn't meet demand. You can't. What's your comparison to over-deliver something? What does over-deliver mean to you?
Over-delivered, basically, I guess, to me, I guess, if you're talking about where you're expecting things to be, and if you're way past that, then you're over-delivering.
Over-delivering on what? Based on what?
Yeah.
What are you over-delivering?
Your sales projections, I guess. But he doesn't put it in context.
Yeah, really. Like over-delivering. It's like, to me, over-delivering means, like when I made spaghetti the other day for my family. I over-delivered on my production of spaghetti because I made way more spaghetti than we needed to feed everyone. I over-delivered. Some of that went to waste. That sucks. I need to cut back. I need to make sure we're not wasting food. And that's what I feel like over-delivering means. When you deliver more than you need to support the demand.
Right.
When he's like, we dramatically over-delivered when we couldn't keep up. No, you didn't over-deliver. Right. You just sped up the process of getting more Switches there because you under-delivered the demand.
Right.
So how can you under-deliver demand but then over-deliver at the same time?
I guess, again, it's just framing on what he's talking about,
it's
for
dumb.
Sure. If he's talking about their sales projections, they might have over-delivered on their sales projections. But
Reggie,
I'm just playing devil's advocate.
Me saying you're dumb just got me uninvited from every possible Nintendo event ever.
Right.
What I'm saying here is Reggie is a very smart man.
Oh, very.
And he's very good at his job of spinning PR in a positive way.
Oh, for sure.
But this is the first flub I think he's had where it's like, what you're saying does not match up with what consumers are thinking.
Right.
And while you can, make up some BS that consumers might call you on, like, oh, we're not going to have the same pre-order fiasco with the SNES Classic Edition. Actually, you did.
Yeah.
Now, granted, it does seem that you are delivering on having more units than the NES Classic, from what we can tell, but it hasn't arrived yet. We don't know what the fiasco is going to be like when it does. But you're talking about a system that there are maybe even millions of people frustrated
because they still don't have one,
can't get.
Mm-hmm.
And even as it's available in stores, it's still sold out on the GameStop website. It's still sold out on Amazon. You go to Amazon.com, you'll find a bunch of listings for Switch. All of them scalpers because there is no new units on Amazon.
Exactly.
And when you do bring new units up, it's only for Amazon Prime members, which is not fine because I'm a Prime member, but a lot of people aren't.
Right.
So
and even then, a lot of those scalpers are still probably
also probably Prime members.
Well, and they're still probably looking on for brand new deliveries to turn around and scalp them again.
I mean, let me tell you, this should give you an idea. GameStop's trade value is usually pretty low on things unless you hit them on one of their deals. You can trade on a Nintendo Switch right now for $200 cash.
Mm-hmm.
That's more than a PlayStation 4, more than an Xbox One, even like the PlayStation 4 Pro. Like, the Switch isn't that high in demand. They're willing to give you $200 cash so they could resell it, and they're reselling it for like $290.
Yeah.
Because why wouldn't they?
Right.
It isn't that high demand. They know they're going to sell it.
Right.
That's why they're willing to pay you so much because they know it's not going to sit there. They're going to have it gone the next day.
Right. Or even same day, as long as they test it.
Or they might buy it. Fuck.
Well, right, yeah. Right. Well,
employee discount on used items.
You mean kind of like what we've seen with Turtles in Time?
Yeah.
Where that's a fun story.
Yeah. Some other day we'll get into what happened to our gaming collections growing up. Or at least mine.
Yeah.
You might still have yours.
I still have quite a bit of mine, yes.
Fuck you.
You've already dropped the F-bomb once. In this.
I know. But no, Reggie's a smart guy. But I just feel like this is the first time he said something that feels at massive disconnect from consumers' opinions on things. When you say, I dramatically over-delivered, or we dramatically over-delivered during launch and only sold 2.8 million, and not only did you dramatically over-deliver during launch, magically after you're dramatically over-delivered, you couldn't keep up.
Right.
It's I don't think he understands consumer. And it's weird too because he usually does, but in this case, I don't think he understands what those words mean to consumers versus what they mean to a business side of things.
Right.
Because even if they're thinking in their head, we only plan to sell 1 million of them. We publicly said 2, but we only planned 1, and we actually sold 2.8. So we really, really, really did everything we could over. Like first time ever, we got airplanes to fly things over, and I'm like,
right.
Well, maybe you should do that more often. You'd sell more units.
Right. Yeah. Exactly.
Raise the price by $20 to cover the air fee. You'll still sell out.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with everything you're saying. I'm just pointing out the devil and playing devil's advocate.
I know.
And saying that it's all on perspective and, who's looking at what. Because
but here's my issue, I guess, with it. Generally, Nintendo avoids talking about the business side of things.
Right. Yeah, that is very true.
This interview dived a little bit into some of the business stuff, but mostly it looked like it was just questions responding to fans. That's what this interview looks like. It was the people interviewed him and they brought questions to him that fans had, like why can't they get a hold of Switch? And this question in particular was also a fan one. And like in response to a fan, you're going to tell them you dramatically over-delivered.
Yeah. Okay,
you want to say in your private business meetings,
right?
That
you over-delivered.
We over-delivered, and that's why we had a stock problem the following month. Okay,
Yep.
fine. You over-delivered your launch, you blew your load, and you didn't have enough for the next couple months. Okay, fine.
Right.
If that's realities inside Nintendo, okay. But you're
that's
not
an inside
gonna.
Nintendo
You
thing.
can't say that to people who are having a hard time getting your system that you over-delivered.
Right. Yes. Like I said, I'm agreeing with
that's
you 100%.
That's my problem. It's that this should never become public.
Right. And like I said, I'm agreeing with you 100%.
Unless you're talking to investors. Investors or whatever.
Right.
But when you're talking to fans, and if this would have came out of the investors meeting, whatever. They're talking directly to investors.
Right.
But when you're answering an interview and answering fan questions, it's like, come on. Can't you just say, we're sorry that there's not enough stock. Mm-hmm. We apologize and we're working on it. Right. Just do the usual Nintendo thing.
Right, exactly.
Don't deny, but just do the please understand that the latest please understand it takes a while to make these systems. Right. We apologize there's not enough stock. We are working on making sure that by holiday you can have if you want a Switch, you can get a Switch.
We have back orders on this, and this. I mean,
they're not. They'll never say that because that actually puts their manufacturers under the bus because they're passing off blame. Like we know there's a worldwide shortage on NAND flash. We know why they can't make the system more because other companies have kind of grumbled about it because it's been years of this issue from companies like Apple being like, we're tired of not being able to make enough iPhones because people want the new iPhone 8 or the new iPhone X coming out 10, and suddenly they can't make enough of them and people can't buy them for 6 months.
Yeah,
they don't actually like that. They don't want to short the consumers, but they don't have a choice. Mm-hmm. So we know it's a thing, but Nintendo isn't going to come out and be like, yeah, we just can't get enough of that NAND flash. We just can't get enough of our HD Rumble parts because even if they don't say the companies by name, that's a pretty loud public message to the companies behind it being like, Nintendo's mad at us? Well, ripping up your contract, we're done. We got companies paying us more for these parts anyways. If you're going to call us out in public, we don't want your business.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the reality. Like, the company that Nintendo gets their LCD screens from, their primary contract was with Apple, making their screens. Now, they lost a huge chunk of their business and might go bankrupt because they lost that contract. That's how little the Nintendo Switch contract, money-wise, is to them, that losing the Apple contract means they might close their doors. Mm-hmm. So, like, Nintendo, in this tablet business, even if they sold, say a lifetime, they end up selling 100 million Switches. Mm-hmm. That's still small potatoes compared to the greater billions of tablets and phones being sold.
Right.
So Nintendo is still a small potato in this tablet market, and they can't throw their manufacturers under the bus because they probably already have really good deals, and they'll either increase it because they're bad talking them, or they'll just say, we're going with the people who pay us more money anyways.
Yeah.
Good luck. Go find someone who makes these parts like crap and can't get any business because they make crap parts.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So
I guess.
Yeah, so that's the business side. Again, you can't throw them under the bus, but you also shouldn't be saying to fans and to the public that we over-delivered at a time when people can't get a hold of your thing.
Right.
You know what you over-delivered on? Spirit Tracks in Japan. Spirit Tracks, when it came out in Japan, there were so many copies of it that 2 weeks later they were in $10 discount bins. Because the stores just couldn't get rid of them and they wanted to recoup.
That is over-delivering.
They wanted to recoup something. That's over-delivering. Yes. That's pretty bad. You way overestimated demand.
Well, yeah. Yeah, right. And then, I guess you can say they over-delivered on expectations on what the Switch actually might be.
Well, I think that's what he
yeah.
means.
Yeah.
He means that they had an expectation, and they blew that expectation out of the water, and then they And I'm not going to say they could have planned for the Switch to be as successful as it is. Of course they couldn't have. The Wii U tanked.
Right. Exactly.
The 3DS is still technically the worst selling handheld they have yet. Like, you couldn't predicate that the Switch would blow up as fast as it did, even though a lot of positive buzz, a lot of positive hype, but there was a lot of negative buzz and negative hype for the Wii, and then that blew up. So you can't always predict what's going to blow up and be successful right away, but what you do know is at launch month, you're going to sell as many units as you can make. It happens with every consumer electronic.
Yeah.
So that's why it's like, even if you only, say you projected 2 million and you sold 2.8, yes, you over-delivered on what you expected internally.
Right.
But the public don't give a shit about that.
No, they don't care about what you.
They don't care about what you expected. They care that they want to play Breath of the Wild, and they can't. And you know why they can't? You don't make Wii U's anymore.
Yep.
So they can't get a hold of that. They can't find used ones sometimes. A lot of GameStops are starting to run out of their used ones. Mm-hmm. So you can't find a used Wii U. You have this game being touted as one of the greatest games of all time. Can't play it. I can buy it, but I can't play it. Can't buy the system. Can't buy the new system. Can't buy the old system.
How long was it that Breath of the Wild was actually outpacing the Switch?
Yeah, and Breath of the Wild is still it's in the top 10 sellers for the past 12 months in the United States. It's consistently been in the top 10 on every single chart, every single week and month across the world, because people are still trying to get a hold of Switches just so they can play the damn game.
Right. Yeah.
That's I think that's what frustrated consumers even more. It wasn't just that they couldn't get a hold of the Switch. It's that you have this blockbuster, seemingly must-play game.
Mm-hmm.
That people are now paying attention to. Like, this isn't a new, blockbuster Mario game or Pokemon.
Right.
This is a game that attracts the type of gamers Nintendo hasn't had in a long time.
Right.
Open world, adventure, one of the best rated ever. This is the Ocarina of Time effect, except when Ocarina of Time came out, they had a ton of N64s already out there. Right. And it wasn't hard to get an N64.
Right.
This was at launch, so you knew it was going to be hard to get a Switch, but it's also on Wii U. Oh, but we stopped making Wii U 6 months ago, so you can't buy them anymore.
Troll.
So, and the thing is, I'm not saying that people would have turned around and just bought a Wii U to play. I mean, Wii U sales would have went up if they would have been making them, but it's not saying they would have sold a bunch of Wii U's, but it's just kind of you need to have some perspective when you're speaking publicly.
Oh, no,
and
for
Reggie usually does, and this is the one time I'm like...
Yeah, you need to plan context. You need to give context.
I mean, maybe he was just being honest, and that's fine. Because maybe he just came out of a business meeting that day that dealt with all the stuff that was all in his mind.
And then again, too, that's saying that Reggie might have gave context. That's saying that this article also, Reggie might have gave context, but this article didn't put it in there.
Maybe.
I mean, it's all a possibility.
I mean, obviously the article, when you publish this kind of stuff, it's a headline. It's a headline grabber.
Yes.
Having Nintendo say something that sounds controversial at a time when people can't get a hold of something. I mean, again, and I'm angry about the comment because it should have never been said.
Right.
Not in a public forum.
Right.
If it got said at a meeting, or even though the investors' meetings are kind of public, they're for the investors. Mm-hmm. So you can kind of put that. You already know coming out, they're speaking from a business perspective on over delivery, rather than speaking directly to consumers in an interview. You're speaking directly to consumers. That's why you're doing the interview. Right. You know what's being published. You know it's for people who are looking to buy your product.
Mm-hmm. And like I said, that's again saying that this article.
And by the way, I still love you, Reggie.
Right. Exactly.
I mean, my body is ready.
Nice.
I mean,
but that's saying that this article didn't completely leave out the context. Maybe he did say at the end of it was we over-delivered from our expectations of what we were going to sell, but they completely left that part out. Again, you have to. It's one of those things that yes, you are mad at it because really, but at the same point in time, does the article have the context? What was the context? What is this? What is that? What was he saying? And if it was based on consumer views, oh my God, no.
Well, I highly doubt it was. Reggie's not that dumb.
Right.
But then again, he did say this to consumers instead of saying this in a business setting.
Right.
So it's like, and it's funny too because later on in the interview he answered a question about why doesn't Nintendo just reveal everything all the time. And he basically he reverted back to what you would expect, the business, the PR savvy Reggie, where he's not going to tell you anything,
right?
But he'll talk around it.
He'll dance around it.
He'll be like, we know fans want to know everything all the time, but it doesn't really make much sense for us to tell you things about games that are 4, 5, 6 years out. And blah, 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 PR. We'll let you know about things when we feel like it.
Well, and then I love the part
it's
of that.
It's for your benefit.
No, I also love that. That's just kind of how the industry has gone lately. So we're just going to kind of basically follow.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, very interesting.